This week on Supercars Torque, I do a mid-season report card. Just before the start of the season, I went through and did my predictions for the season, and a few people have probably criticised me for not looking back each week at my predictions for the rounds. Some of them have been a bit tongue-in-cheek because we just fully expect Shane Van Gisbergen to go out and win everything. So I thought I'll go back and see what I predicted at the start of the season and kind of do a bit of a run-through. Was I right? There was a couple of perler kind of mistakes I think I've made on the way through. Generally, I think I've done pretty well. Down in the comments what you think of how I've judged myself on these. And I'll run through a little bit of a report card on how the guys are actually doing so far at this point in the season. I'm going to run this in reverse order like I did at the start of the year, which was the team's championship order from last year. So we start off with Techno Racing, who actually aren't last in the team's championship this year. Well done, guys. You've moved up. Basically, at the start of the season, I said, who cares? It's a bit... If Zane is doing a bit better job, he's had a bit more qualifying speed. He's probably been a little bit more unlucky in the races. They are sitting 19th and 20th in the championship and currently 9th in the team's championship. So nothing too exciting really. Techno Team Sydney are now last in the championship. I did say that Fabian Coulthard was going to destroy Gary Jacobson, which, going by the championship, he's behind Gary, so he is doing worse. That's a bit surprising. He's the team leader, assuming he has the better car, because traditionally Techno is probably, especially in the more recent past, they've definitely had a good car and a bad car, I think, that kind of gets all the second-hand parts and that. 22nd and 23rd in the championship, though, we're splitting hairs on who's doing better than the other. Kelly Racing, my disappointment of the season so far. I said that Jaime was going to be the more consistent one, which has rung true, but I said Dave Reynolds would be the one doing the winning, which Jaime's had a pole and a win. He's currently 12th in the championship. Dave is 16th in the championship. I was expecting these guys to probably be in the top 10 somewhere, and they're not. They've been a bit of a disappointment to me. Brad Jones Racing up next. I said Percat would, he'd destroy the rest of them, which he has done. I said I expected him to be somewhere around 6th, 7th in the championship. He's currently sitting 8th. So good prediction there for me. I said a possible win for Todd Hazelwood. At the moment, I cannot see that happening. And I said that Jones and Smith would be close. And they're close. Surprisingly, Smith is 21st in the championship, while Macca is currently last out of all of the full-time guys in 24th. Which, considering how bad, Jack Smith is, and he's the worst thing ever because he's just a ride by and rah and all that. Macca's doing worse. Granted, he's had a lot of bad luck. Some people say, you produce your own luck. Walkinshaw and Andretti United. Chaz, I predicted for a championship hunt. Now, no one's in the championship hunt except for Shane Van Gisbergen, but he's currently sitting 4th with 1 pole position and 2 wins. He's as close to a championship hunt as kind of anyone but Shane Van Gisbergen is in. I did say Bryce Fullwood could win a race this year. Like with Todd Hazelwood, I can't see that happening at the moment. Team 18... This one I really got wrong. I said Frosty was over the hill and I wasn't expecting anything from him, and Pye would be, more consistent and sitting in the top 10 in the championship. So Frosty is 7th in the championship and has been looking quite quick. And Pie's sitting 13th in the championship, which is not in the top 10, and he hasn't been the consistent one out of the two. I really got that one wrong. Frosty's looking like a guy who could continue for another 5 odd years. And Scott Pye's one that you kind of question, could he end up at Triple Eight, or could he be, out of a ride next year? Scott Pye's whole career it's just seemed very short term the whole way through, just so much unrealised potential there. Next up, we have Erebus. I was pretty close on these guys. I said I expected them to be somewhere between 10th and 15th in the championship. They're currently sitting 10th and 11th. I said that Will Brown would be the more consistent, but Brodie would get that kind of, those headline results with potentially a win. He did finish second in one of the races at Sandown, so, that was pretty close. But Will Brown has been kind of the more consistent, but geez, they are close in the championship. They've done really well. I was expecting them to come on stronger towards the end of the year, having a bit of trouble at the start of the year, but they've been, fairly there or thereabouts all year. They did a really good job by those guys. Tickford, Cam Waters all the way. That's what we all expected. And I did predict Courtney would be second out of the guys, and then Slade, and then LeBrock. I did kind of put the Blanchard team in with the Tickford guys for the prediction at the start of the year, because he's teaming with them. It is a Tickford car. It's, Tickford guys. They're in, some of the main guys there are, ex-Tickford guys. So that was all predicted in the right order. Courtney's sitting 9th in the championship. Not too bad. Very disappointing from Slade and especially LeBrock. They're sitting 17th and 18th in the championship. Considering what happened with Slade, like at Bathurst, and then they seem to lose a lot of momentum there for a bit. They're coming on strong again now. So they've got kind of reasons to be that far back in the championship. Jack LeBrock, yeah. I think with Randall coming on and where everything's sitting, yeah, will he be in that seat next year? Cam Waters has had 4 pole positions and 3 wins. And other than, obviously, Shane Van Gisbergen being miles ahead, he is in the championship hunt that I kind of predicted on that one. Then the big guns. Triple Eight. Shane Van Gisbergen, of course, I said he'd be in the championship hunt. I did, however, predict that Jamie Whincup would win more than Shane Van Gisbergen, but he would be very inconsistent this year. Both of them have been extremely consistent, but Shane Van Gisbergen, 5 pole positions and 11 wins. Jamie, 2 pole positions and 1 win. Yeah, Jamie definitely, and I don't even think if we went through now that he could probably catch Shane on the wins column for the rest of the year. So, yeah, Jamie, you've really disappointed me. I thought you were going to do some more winning this year. They're sitting 1st and 2nd in the championship, so I did say that Shane was going to be the one for the championship, so I suppose I got that right. I did not predict that Jamie was going to be, right up there in the championship hunt. I thought he'd be a bit more like 5th, 6th, 7th, somewhere around there with some headline results and some shockers and whatnot. Both of them have just been, pretty much a model of consistency all year. And last up is DJR. I did say Will Davison would be the more consistent one, while Anton would probably have a bit of an inconsistent year, which that's what we've seen. 2 pole positions from Will Davison, no wins. 4 pole positions from Anton, 2 converted to only 1 win. That has been a bit of a disappointment. Having said all of that as well, they are sitting 5th and 6th in the championship. So they're not as far apart, and Anton has been, clawing back that gap to Will Davison, but currently he is sitting a little bit off that bunch that's kind of that 2nd to 5th in the championship. I do expect him to probably catch up to those guys because he obviously listened to what I said about his results, and he has, really lifted his game since kind of Darwin. So that's my quick mid-season report card. My biggest surprise for the year, I'm going to put down Shane van Gisbergen, because he's just been head and shoulders above everyone else. And my biggest disappointment so far this year, I'm going to give that one to Scott Pye. I was expecting a lot more, and currently he is definitely losing the teammate battle to Frosty. Down in the comments, let me know what you think. Was I too generous on kind of how I did? Could I have been a bit more harsh on myself? Or have I've given myself a bit of an honest appraisal there? Until next time though, I'm still Dave, and I'll catch you later.